On the sixth game of Christmas, my true love played with me. Salted Sacrifice! Hello, and welcome again to another 12 games of Christmas. In no particular order, and no rhyme or reason. These are just games that I either love, have loved, or would love to play. And here I am sharing them. Today, day 6, I'm sharing Salt and Sacrifice, a game that I have, sort of a history of loving. Oh, I've always loved it. I love the first one. It's a sequel. It comes from, I don't want to say just one guy, because then I would totally discount all the hard work, blood, sweat, and tears of Shane. But I've known James Silva, the creator of Charlie Murder, Dishwasher, Dead Samurai, Vampire Smile, Ska Studios. It's a game company that makes games like this, like some of the others on the list. If you haven't noticed, I'm a fan of some of the old school style games if they have the right modern flair to them. And this is no different. So this is, as most people would say, a Metroidvania. It's a Metroidvania. Shut up. I hate that term. I'm sorry. I just hate that term. Yes, it's got all those elements, and you could say it's a Metroidvania, but what it really is the best damn 2D version of Dark Souls you're going to find in any platform anywhere, for my money, or yours for that matter. Salt and Sacrifice, Salt and Sanctuary. I may have said Salt and Sanctuary in the song. Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know, because they're so interchangeable. But Salt and Sanctuary is the first game, and they're both just straight up, they're Dark Souls. There's no way around it. The aesthetic, the way it plays, everything about it, it's Dark Souls. If you don't like it, shut up. That's all I can say. And if you think that that's like too on the nose or whatever to call it that, well, like, shut up as well, because it is that. That's just the best way to put it, and that's what it is. So automatically, if you like the whole Souls type games, the aesthetic, the game mechanic per se, but not the 3D aspect of it, you're not, you don't have to be married to that. This is the best version you're going to get on flat screen, and I'm currently playing the PlayStation 5 version because I have the PS4 version, bought it day one, had it pre-ordered. I love James, and I love Ska Studios, and I love Dark Souls, so everything that he does, I'm going to buy it. I really wish he would do a remake or mastering of some of the older games, and maybe they will in the future. I don't know. We'll see. Either way, this is Salt and Sanctuary's sequel, Salt and Sacrifice. So, basically, Dark Souls. Fight bosses, get through levels, unlock new areas to get through different areas, in this case, you do unlock, like, abilities such as, like, walled, like, different types of jumping, grappling, things that'll help you traverse through different areas that you'll find along the way. My wife and I played the first one all the way through. We beat the game, but like any Dark Souls game, you kind of got to play through it more than once, because there are different endings and different, like, options you can do to get different trophies, as well as the game has, obviously, new game pluses, just like a Souls game would, as well as the game has a multiplayer aspect, just like you would expect in a Souls game. You can be invaded by other players and have to fight them, and do the same. It works the same way. You've got your summons, your your little soapstone type things like you would have in Dark Souls. All those elements are present. You can leave messages. Everything you would expect in a Souls game is in this game. It's just this really great art style and parallax 2D, and I love it. We love it. And the multiplayer, we didn't play any for this video purpose, but we love the multiplayer as well. to be honest, I don't want to play it with a weak character. Since it's a PlayStation 5 version, we had to start all the way over. And since we were doing these videos, I wanted to start fresh anyway, so as not to like get into the middle of a game we already started and had fully decked out characters and all that. Otherwise, as you will see throughout the background, it's just Souls cartoon, and it's so much fun, honestly. It's one of the best couch co-op games you can get still. Couch co-op is a dying art. A lot of modern games are just leaving it at the door. I don't understand. Like, I know when the internet and online co-op started getting big, like, a lot of companies were designing for that, but really, it's like, are you serious? Why do we have the ability to hook up 4 controllers at a time to a console, but you never make games that are like, nobody makes good games? Like, there are 2 games that I could design right now, and with the right funding or the right producer, whatever team of people helping me, I could make it in a month. I could make 2 games in a month that would sell like hotcakes. They're along these lines, not this style, but along the lines of taking popular game styles and making something that you can play on the couch in a different format, 2D, whatnot. Anyway, I digress. As always, digressing. I've digressed so much, I'm gonna regress. Anyway, Salt and Sacrifice, great fucking game. I keep saying it because that's all you can say. All the leveling up, all the weapons and your armors and your outfits. There's a lot of customization options. You got everything that you would expect. And it's no different than playing the 3D version, except for it's 2D, and it's like a different, you know, person's story about whatever it is that brings you to this world. In this case, it is mages. You are banished from your realm, and you are now a marked mage hunter, and you spend your days hunting down mages. Mages are fucking big badass elemental style monsters. You go and well, like this, you find the corpse and you desecrate it, or whatever you want to call it, defile it, and then it gives you this lovely little blast of trail that'll you'll see the stats on the side there, but then it gives you this trail and tells you where the boss is, and you go follow that trail and it will lead you to the boss. And then you fight the mage and you keep whittling him down. He runs away. You chase him all the way through the level until he gets to his spot, or you whittle him down to enough health. If you're badass enough, you can hit him like real hard right off the bat and he'll immediately go to his end spot. And unless they updated the way it works, they all basically have like each boss has its ending arena area, and it'll always be the same. They will always appear in the same spot, and they'll always end up in the same spot. And so eventually you'll have like 3, 4, you can get several mages and bosses on the screen at once dancing around. You're trying to like chase down and fight a bunch of them, as well as other characters popping in, like people, I mean players, invading your world, and you got a whole mess, and you're trying to get the mage you need, plus the other mages that start popping up later in the game as you like beat mages. They don't die. It's just a reoccurring infinite mechanic, and it just, you keep fighting mages. So the game has its story, it's got its world, the levels that you go through and everything. On top of that, it's got the mage mechanic. The mages are bosses. The mages don't end. Like, they just, you can keep summoning them, and at a certain point, like, you'll like I said, you'll have 5, 6 of them on the screen at once at some points, and they're just popping up in the levels. But you'll know the areas that they pop up in, and you'll know when they're there. So, and by the time you get to that point, you actually don't mind. It's not a big deal. You want to fight, but otherwise, that's the name of the game. And then, of course, your world has world bosses, mini bosses, all the things you would expect. Sometimes you'll walk, you'll get the hint. If you know the style of game, you'll get the hint. You'll walk into the area and you're like, oh, I think we're about to hit a boss, and then it throws the boss at you. But game gets increasingly harder. You have to do all the mages, you have to fight them, you have to farm all of their materials so you can make the items that they make available to you. And each element has its own set, and each like build has its own set of things you want to build and look for. And then at a certain point, you'll need all of it to get through the bosses and things you'll fight towards the end of the game. And by the end of it, it's crazy. Like a lot of these 2D games it gets really crazy. So there you go. Expect a Dark Souls-like, roguelike, multi-boss bonanza, Metroidvania, if you want to call it that. It's all of those things. It's on PS4 and it's on PS5 and maybe some other consoles too, but I don't care about those other ones. And that is Salt and Sacrifice. So thanks for watching. 6 days. See you tomorrow for the next day. And we'll love ya. Bye. Merry Christmas. Happy holiday. Bah.